Hello, my name is Sean Berry, and this is my California University of Pennsylvania Rock and Roll HFA lecture presentation on Nirvana. Some main key points in Nirvana. Uh, why did they get so big? One of the reasons why they got so big was because the end of the 1980s, uh, Michael Jackson and other 80s bands that basically all sounded the same were at the top of the charts. And out of nowhere came Nirvana, who totally threw Michael Jackson out of the slot and just became this huge phenomenon as grunge. Now, the band was consisted of Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl, and former drummer Chad Channing. Chad only appeared on the band's first album, which was Bleach. Bleach was recorded in 1989 by under Sub Pop, which is a indie label out of Washington. It cost the band about $606 to put together 12 songs, including Floyd the Barber, About a Girl, Blue, Negative Creep, and Love Buzz. 40,000 copies were sold, and it hit number 89 on the American album charts. The name Bleach was taken from a sign that Kurt Cobain had for heroin addicts that told them to bleach their needles before they injected so that they would not get AIDS. So yeah, that's how that came to be. The dynamics of Nirvana's first songs. Lyrics were not important. A lot of what Kurt Cobain sang was very unintelligible. You couldn't really understand what he was saying, and it really was more about intensity and melody and music more than anything. They were not very accomplished musicians. However, they did take great pride in how they went about performing and playing. A lot of what the songs were about were just angst and relationships and just things that Kurt Cobain went through as a child and as an adult. It was very angry and very hard-hitting, and I think that's why everyone liked it so much, was because everyone has always felt these feelings of angst and anger that they didn't know how to express, and Kurt found a way to express them. Now, after Bleach, their album Nevermind came out. Nevermind was released by DGC label in September 1991. It topped number one in the charts and officially dethroned Michael Jackson from the number one spot. This was a huge deal, considering that it was totally not pop. It wasn't anything mainstream, and it was the dark horse in pop culture as far as number one singles go. Their most popular song, Smells Like Teen Spirit, was featured on MTV very many times. Other songs by them was Come As You Are and Lithium. It was recorded by Butch Vig, who was the co-producer and engineer behind the album. And this was their first album with their new drummer Dave Grohl, who would later go on to be in the Foo Fighters. Kurt gives a lot of musicality, diversity, creativity to Dave Grohl. He said that he definitely brought them out of their normal way of writing and producing songs. He was a very talented artist and musician, and he fit the band very, very well. A lot of the parts of Nevermind include power chords, lack of structure, and nonconformity to how most songs were written. A lot of it is just thrown together in your face, and most of how it came together, the songs came together, were just how Kurt Cobain wrote. In Utero was their last album that they recorded. This accompanied Kurt's feelings on the media and how the media portrayed himself. He didn't like how he was being taken so seriously as an artist. He didn't think he was that great of a person. However, the album did get some success, and it was just as successful as Nevermind. The main issue in Utero was they didn't want it to go mainstream. They didn't want it to be like Nevermind. And a quote by a critic of one of the magazines that covered In Utero, they said Nirvana never went mainstream. Mainstream went Nirvana, which I think definitely categorizes the entirety of Nirvana's career, as Kurt Cobain was too. In 1994, Kurt Cobain committed suicide, abruptly bringing Nirvana to an end. What killed Kurt the most? It was Courtney Love, the media, and heroin. Those were the three things that seemed to take most of his life away. A lot of what we can see from Kurt and his genius come from his journals, filled with a lot of depression, imagery of love, genius, and angst. There was a lot of very sad things and of contradiction, of hypocrisy within him that he could not face within, that it was just too much for him. This was probably one of the more hard-hitting things that happened to a lot of people, because everyone liked Nirvana. It was their saving grace from the terror that was the 80s. And I think that's what makes Nirvana most important. Alright. Thank you. And please go listen to Nirvana now.